Let me show you guys how I work with a dark skin with a warm undertone. We're used to dark skins having red undertones, but here we go. Use the micellar water to cleanse the skin first because it's going to remove all the dirt from the skin. Definitely she's coming from outside before she got to my studio. So look at how much dirt came out. Then I did a second cleanse with this rose water toner from Mismetic as well, and I used it to just double cleanse her skin. Then I went ahead to hydrate her skin with this green tea spray from Kiss Beauty. Make sure you always fan every step. Then I'm using a spray toner from Damini, and now the glow essence from TM Essential is like a serum that I just use before I use my moisturizer. Always make sure you get the under eye because you don't want your under eye to crease after your job is done. Also make sure that you wash your hands before you start to touch people's faces. Now, this is my favorite moisturizer of all time. I've tested a couple of them and I definitely love this TM Essential. It's really lightweight and it doesn't even cause me any stress. It just sinks in very well. So now this is the poreless finish primer from Zekiel. It's an hydrator and hydration primer. I use it before I use the Stay Matte primer from Rimmel for just the T-zone. Now, the reason why I pair those two is because of a skin type. Now, I use the V-Beauty foundation and they are in two different editions. The one in the front is the I think it's Utopia Second Skin, and the second one is from True Coverage or something and that's Ebony. Yeah, so I blended the skin with this beauty blender, sprayed the face first with Nia setting spray so it can aid easy blending. I zoomed in and zoomed out so that you guys can see our chest and match it with the face. I'm not only matching with the neck, I'm matching with the most visible parts of her body because her chest is going to be showing at the end of the video. So now I'm just going to blend and then just look at what that gave us. A perfect match actually. I used just the excess on my brush for the nose because of so many people, their nose breaks out easily. It could be sweat, it could be oil, so I just don't use a lot of products there. Now for my concealer, I used this concealer from Blossom Makeup. I'm using this blush from Spice. I've had it for a while. I use the dark shade, the red in it. Now the darker the shade, the darker the skin tone, the darker the shade of blush that I use. So look at how that red is just sitting pretty. If I used pink, I feel like it will be too light for her. So now this is the way you arrange your products. That side first for contour, then the mid part blush, then on top of it is your highlight. Just make sure you arrange properly. I blend every other place before I move to the under eye because I want the under eye to get tacky and dry a bit so that it can have more coverage and then I can blend seamlessly. I'm going to do another video showing you guys how to really blend your under eye properly so that you don't have crease line. I feel like this one is also well detailed, but I'm just going to do a separate video explaining properly how to do your under eye. So after blending the under eye, I just use the excess powder all over the face. Now for the contour area, I'm using this dark shade from my Make Color powder. Remember the variation you are blending in. Now for the forehead and the hairline, I just use a lighter shade, like one shade lighter than her skin tone. Now for this nose part, the bridge of her nose, I'm going to use, that's the place you should put your nose contour actually. I'm using the dark shade that I use for the side of the nose. Then now I'm going to finish up with the lighter shade I used for the forehead, which is this, to finish up the rest of the nose because I don't like the rest of the nose to look so dark. So I just put just the contour in the inner part. Now to melt the powder products together, I'm just going to use my Nia setting spray again. Let it dry because you always have to fan in between, and then I go in with my blush, a darker color of blush as well. I use the purple and mix it with a little peach or whatever color that is. So I put the rest in her nose. I'm going to put powder. Remember that when you're doing your powder, you just tap in and just blend little by little. Don't pull, don't just swipe too much. Just tap and blend little by little, just like I'm doing. That's why the brushes that you even use is going to determine how flawless the end result of your look is. So after I use the Nuban setting powder in Sienna for to set her eyes, I still use this pressed powder for the under eye. You can use any pressed powder you have, Sephora, MAC, all these things work. I'm used to powder palettes and I hardly use single powders. So I'm going to bake again with the same Sienna, and now this time I'm not pressing in my setting powder. I'm just putting lightly on the eye, because this baking process, this is called the baking process, is just going to catch the eyeshadow fallout when I eventually do it. In case if I use pigment and all, it can just catch the fallout without ruining my under eye. Because if there's no powder there, when the pigments fall, they fall on the bare skin. So I'm going to proceed to doing the brows. I'm just going to use this edge control. If you have a brow tamer, you can definitely use that. Look at the difference between the one I tamed and the one that is not tamed. So tame your brows, you guys. Moving on, I'm going to do the eyes with the Ben Eye Clown White. I have a detailed eyeshadow tutorial on how I achieved this, so just go watch it after this one. So I'm doing the eyes because I want the brows to dry properly first before I draw them, because I don't want them to be wet or oily. So I'm just going to finish up the eyes. It's a matte bridal look, so it's like really fast. So this is one of my favorite gel liners. Actually, it is waterproof, it doesn't stress me, creamy, and that's why it is my go-to primer. So to do the under eye, just pull a bit and then swipe. Don't poke your client. So I zoomed in so that you guys can see where I'm putting the liner, just beside the lash line. Use your mascara to remove colors because of all the colors that might have fallen. Then wear your lashes. For lashes, I'm using Mismetic palette. I don't remember the style, but I think it's Crush. So with my classic glue, I'm just going to put on the lash line. I'm zooming in again so it can be very detailed. You guys should not miss this. Don't put your lash on top and it will not be showing all the lash no. Make sure it's on the lash line. I'm just trying to adjust it to make sure that it is staying on the lash line. Look at, it's not showing our natural lashes like that. So my brows have dried and I'm just going to sketch out with the Adventure brow gel in brown, and I'm just going to fill in just the back. I'm not filling in the front. I'm using this Beauty Line by Didi pencil, or rather Didi Beauty pencil, because they changed their name, to just fill in strokes at the front and just make that front line faint while I do the second one. Obviously I'm trying to make it faster because I already explained it, and I think I even have many detailed videos on how I do my brows anyway. So just fill in the back and then use the pencil to just fill in the front so that it looks like natural brows. So for the back side, I use this black gel liner, I think Paula B, same gel liner, to just fill in that side. Use this to just make sure that where your black is showing, like it's not showing, like it should be flawless. I don't want the beginning, I don't want demarcation, literally. That's why I just use that brush to brush it. So I concealed with the same concealer I used for the eyes, the under eye. And when I'm concealing, I use darker shade for the top, and the shade I use for concealing for the brows, the under of the brows. Now I don't conceal from the front because I don't want it to have a box. I just conceal from the, like, almost the midpoints like this, and just blend the rest into the front just like this. Flawless. So if the top is not really well defined, you can just clean it a bit. This wasn't even a struggle because it was kind of well defined, so I just mattify every other place and bring back my eyeshadow contour and all with powder. So if you are doing your under eye, just push in the products. Don't swipe too much because you don't want to pull out your under eye again. That's one of the things that I said in the detailed video on how to make sure your under eye doesn't crease. So just watch it. So for finishing, I'm using this finishing spray from TM Essential. It's a finishing spray. Let me tell you guys, like, it really melts all the makeup in, and you have to spray from afar so that it doesn't create dots on your face. So for our skin tone, I'm using this darker brown gel pen. It was a gel liner actually. It wasn't a lipstick. Then I just blend it out first, then applied this color from my blush palette. Smack. Make sure that when they're smacking, they're not rubbing in. They're like smacking. So blend that. Then I use this brighter color for just the middle. This brighter color should be maybe nude something from Classic. Then I blended in, and I think I just glossed it off camera. I glossed off camera, and when I'm glossing, I use the Adventure gloss in, I think, 8045, I don't know, but it's pinkish, a little bit pinkish nude. So for my highlight, I use this Taylor. Don't forget the sequence, and I'm using just the leftover on my brush. I don't really put products directly. If I need to put products directly, I'm just tapping little. So this TM Essential liquid glue is also from TM Essential. The name is Win and the other one is Trend. I use it every time I want to have like a dewy finish. I don't want my bronzer to be my highlight, like my shine highlight, to be too loud. So I'm just literally just doing finishing. This is the spray, Stay On spray. It's like a fixed spray from Flawless Ivy. Is one of my favorite actually. I've used other ones, but it's always too sticky, but this one made sense. So just doing the under eye mascara. I do the under eye mascara last because I don't want it to stain. So this is what we achieved. You can check the finished look on Instagram as well at @Diamond Moi. Thank you so much for coming along with me and watching this full video. If you have questions, you can drop in the description box. I would love to see you next time. Bye.